Hello and welcome to the Bergcast. I'm your host, Brett Reed, and in this podcast series, we deep dive into the life of Division III athletes here at Heidelberg University. If you have ideas or mini games or questions we should incorporate in more episodes, please comment down below. With that being said, let's dive into today's episode. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing one of my closest friends and teammates, Rick Cimino. Rick has earned 3 letters in cross country, 2 in track, holds the record for the Rotterdam 5K, was a Coaches Award winner for 2 straight years, and distance MVP his senior year. In college, Rick was able to achieve Coaches Award freshman year of cross country and was voted best hair. Rick, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Brett. It's kind of an honor almost.
Yeah, no problem. So actually, for the viewers out there, me and Rick tried to do this yesterday, and for some reason, the file didn't go through. So this is basically a run back. So
we'll make it better. This is about to be the best podcast.
Exactly. So it's funny because I just recorded David's podcast also right after. So people are gonna be like, "Oh, well, what if?" I told him about like how, because there's many games obviously within this podcast, and I told him how you went 0-3 in guessing game. Yeah. Like, what if you go 3 for 3 today?
I know. This could be my time.
People are gonna be a little confused, but I'll make sure they know on the next one. So, all right, Rick. So basically, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. We're gonna play some mini games. Basically I'm just gonna throw the mini games in there so that we don't have to talk so much. But yeah, so before we start, I just want to say a few things about Rick that the viewers may not know. So before I came to Heidelberg University, we do little visits and lunches with the team. I went to the lunch one time. I walk in, I'm with the whole team, pretty much the whole team, and my dad's on one side, I'm on the other. I'm talking to Austin there, and my dad's talking to Hunter, whatever. We got the whole team there. Rick's not there yet. Rick walks in with pajama pants on and a flannel, I'm pretty sure. He's like a couple minutes late, he had class. This man walks in to the lunchroom and everyone just goes, everyone's getting crazy. Like, Rick, oh my God. I'm like, yo, who is this kid? Like, no way. Like, this guy has to be the most popular kid on the team. You quickly find out when you get to campus that Rick has one of the highest personalities on the team. And it's just, you're just one of those people. And then I forgot what I mentioned yesterday about you. Oh yeah. So the crazy thing is, after that happened, about 2 weeks before I went to college, I put on my story, like I was like going to Heidelberg University, all this about just like, going and running somewhere. And this guy slides up and he's like, I have one of my runners actually runs for Heidelberg too, and his name is Rick. And I was like, oh, no way. Like, I know who that is. Well, now I know who it is. And that was one of your coaches as well. So we had that.
He was, I guess you can call him an ex-coach because he coached at my high school for I think he was there for one indoor outdoor track. And then as soon as high school started, he went to Chardon because his daughter goes there.
Yeah. I seen his sons and daughters. I know he has a running club out there in Cleveland too. So that was pretty cool to have, this mini little source between us.
Yeah, cool. Exactly.
All right, so we'll start with the questions. First question: where are you from? And what's it like growing up there? Is it in the city, country?
All right, so I live in Menor, Ohio, and Menor, Ohio, kind of there's 2 parts to it. There's Menor on the Lake, which is this really small portion of Menor. It's actually super small. My dad was telling me about what the where the line is, and it's literally the street right next to me is where the line between Menor on the Lake and Menor is. So there it's kind of it's not super big city. It's not, because we're 40 minutes east of Cleveland, so it's not super city, but there's a big plaza on the road right next to me, so you have access to pretty much everything you could ever want. Fast food, mattresses, drugs, you have everything.
Everything.
Every option. And it's kind of a nice place because pretty much everywhere has sidewalks, so it's really easy to run there, which I cannot say about plenty of other places near me. And it's a nice place. I like it.
So you said you live on Menor on the Lake. When you tell people where you live, do you say Menor on the Lake or do you say Mentor?
I usually just say Menor.
Okay.
Just because most people don't understand the whole Menor on the Lake, Menor difference, so it's not worth it explaining.
Okay. So Menor on the Lake, so we have we have Sandusky and then we have Perkins, but Perkins isn't technically a city, so they call it Sandusky Perkins. Is that kind of how Menor on the Lake is?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing.
Okay, makes sense. All right, so moving on to the next question. What was your high school like? I know you went to a big school. Yeah, so just elaborate on where you went to high school and what it was like there.
All right, so I went to Menor High School. I know, very original name. But it's pretty much the one high school that everybody goes to, more or less, unless you're rich and you go to Lake Catholic, which is the private school that's near us. But so Menor High is your state of the art giant high school with millions of kids, big lunchrooms, big lecture halls, a lot of people in classes. So it's that kind of experience. And like the sports teams are really big. So like everybody loves football, they love like baseball and all that, and they don't care about cross country, which is the usual. Usual. You have to stay humble when you're on cross country.
Right, right.
But
So,
it's more of this, like, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's just
are you good?
everything's big. There's a lot of kids.
So, what's your class size look like, and then what's your classroom size look like a normal like an English class or something?
Let's see. I'm trying to remember from what I said because I actually looked it up. I think it was closer to like it was like 700 kids in
Okay,
my class,
yeah.
and then classrooms were probably like 30 if you're like
So
in the
so
really big ones.
wow, that's crazy considering my class size was like 40 kids.
Yeah, yeah. I hear of all these people that are like, oh yeah, I knew basically everybody in my class, and I cannot say the
Yeah.
same. When I was watching or when I was graduating, I was like, man, I don't know like 50% of these people.
So does your school, I know obviously we touched on this yesterday, your school owns all these, they have their own football field, their, facilities, stuff like that.
Hmm.
Why do so many people go to Mentor? Like, is it just like the main, like, is it like right in the middle of everything? Like, why does
Yeah,
why does everyone go
I
there?
mean, I wouldn't necessarily because it's pretty close to Menor Avenue, which is like the really big street that has our mall, has a bunch of strip malls, has a bunch of like there's so many places to go there. So I guess it's kind of like in the middle of where if you wanted to get to Menor on the Lake, you're gonna pass Menor High School. Not to mention it's you know people have had success there. We actually had one of our football players. He is I don't know if he's in the NFL now or he got picked up by a team for college football. So like we've got some pretty successful kids coming from Menor High, and it's probably just because it's the main one. Like it's the
Yeah,
one that's the cheapest. It's public. It's right there.
awesome. Well, yeah, I will touch on that later, because that's basically the same size of like Heidelberg for some people, but we'll
Hmm.
touch on that later. So, next question: what got you interested in doing your sport? Family? Did you pick it up when you were little by accident?
All right, so I have to start with the very beginning, of course. It's all a very interesting story. So I never did anything athletic, pretty much ever. All I would do was what we did in gym. And my parents were like, "Hey, you should join the track team in middle school." So it was eighth grade, and we ran the first warm up lap. And I was like, "I hate running. I'm not doing this." So I decided to be a thrower. I threw shot put and discus, and my shot put was like 19 feet, which is pretty solid for a middle schooler. But as soon as you got to high school, that wasn't gonna fly. There's no way.
Yeah, and if you like look, not to like be rude, obviously, because when you look at a thrower, they are these giant tanks.
Yeah,
But then
they're muscly. Like you
but
think of Garrett,
yeah,
for
yeah, you think of
example.
Garrett exactly. But the fact that when you told me that when you threw, I was like, you threw, and you're like, yeah, and I just like I was like, wow, like that was just crazy.
Yeah, it's like people just like don't they almost don't believe it, which I don't blame them. I
Yeah, I
don't
mean
blame
it.
them. Like
I
there was a
wouldn't blame
parent
him
on
either.
this there was a parent on the sidelines during one of my meets, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, is he a thrower?" And then they realized that my mom was standing right there, and they're like, "Oh, we didn't mean anything by it. We just meant he kind of looks more like a runner than a thrower."
So then, how
And
did you transition from throwing to running?
let's see. So it was freshman year of high school. I think it was like the summer just before I started high school. My parents were like, you're not sitting in the house playing video games every day for your entire high school career. You're gonna go join a sport. You're gonna join cross country." So they made me start doing summer running, which I didn't know a ton of people. My best friend Jack was there, so I was like, "Oh, sweet! I can't wait to run with him." So I knew him. I ran with him all the time. He actually made me want to do it more just because I knew him. And then the season came along, and he didn't end up doing it, but I still stayed with it, and it was hard to get started. I'll tell you.
I bet. So, do your parents run?
My mom, like she does now, she kind of started doing it after she like settled down, like graduated from college and finally like got a big grown up job of her own. She started doing it. And then
Right.
she was like, well, I think this is fun. You should try it. So then she told me to do it. And my dad, he ran track a little bit in high school, but none of my parents were really runners in
Okay.
their I don't want to say prime, in their high school years, I should say.
Okay. All right. So you kind of just picked it up. No correlation. All right.
Exactly.
Next question. Why did you choose Heidelberg? You went to this already big school. What made you choose, almost the same size school? I think we have, I don't know how many is per class, but I know we have, no, it's bigger because I think like 2,000, maybe like 1,500 kids go to our school.
Yeah, because like that's like 1,000 and like the whole like that's the whole student body. But I think all of our classes have probably like 200 to 300 people
Yeah.
in them, which still that's solid for a private school, I'd think.
Yeah.
But when it comes to I never really thought about college that much, to be honest. Like when I started, I was like, I'm gonna go to Lakeland Community College in Kirtland, which is like 15-minute drive from my house. I'll go there, then I'll transfer to Akron, OSU, some other school. I really
Right.
didn't know after that point. I just knew I was going to start with Lakeland. And I went to my dad's office, and it turns out that the owner of his business actually is on the board of trustees for Heidelberg and actually like donates to Heidelberg. Like their name is in campus center and their name is on the back seats or like the back of the seats of the football stadium.
Wow.
And he was like, so I heard you did really well in cross country and track in high school. And I was like, I figured you would want to keep running there, obviously. And I was like, oh yeah, totally. So he's like, you should go visit Heidelberg. It's in Tiffin, Ohio. It's like an hour, like 2 hours away. And I was like, oh, okay, that kind of sucks. But I'm like, wait a minute, Tiffin. That's like the right next to the Tiffin Carnival, which was my favorite race in high school. I
Best
always
race.
PR'd there. Love that race. So we went there, we drove all the way there, almost fell asleep on the ride there because it's so long. After you get off Route 2, for me, you get on Route 2 and it's just
Yep.
cornfields
Hop
and
on
there's
road
nothing
two.
to look at. It is so bad.
I know, I feel that. So,
And we get there and we just kind of we're there. They tell us about the school. I meet Brian and I'm like, man, like this place is really nice. And like academically, like I would be perfect for it because I have the grades from high school to help me pay for school. And
mhm.
I was like, the team sounds awesome. And I'm like, well, I might as well. So that literally that day I signed up. I was like, yep, I will gladly go to Heidelberg. And it was 2 or 3 weeks before the semester actually started.
I know that is so funny because I have two things to say. So it's funny because I remember when I went on my visit, it was it was like right after you guys' regionals had happened. So
Mhm.
Brian was just telling me about like your regional team. He was like, yeah, we had this guy make the varsity. Cause I was like, I asked him, I was like, what do I have to do to make varsity? And he said, yeah, there's this guy on our team who joined 2 weeks before we started. And he made the regional team. And he was talking about, of course, you. And I just thought it was so funny because obviously Brian talked about it. So like it was just crazy to him as well.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
the next thing is I didn't mention this yesterday, but you were a valedictorian, weren't you? Or
Not
what
not
did you receive?
not not valedictorian. I got I can never remember how to say it. It's like
Cum laude?
the cum laude. Yeah, I got that, and then I got community service. So like I did kind of the bare minimum, but I was still on cum laude because which is still like a good thing to get. Like when people say, oh, I got into cum laude, you're like, oh, that's pretty nice. You must be pretty smart then, like
Yeah,
something like that.
exactly. That's how I think of it, at least. All
Yeah, because
right.
like you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
I because at our school, I think you just get valedictorian and salutatorian. So I mean, I never knew
Oh,
what.
interesting. I guess it's probably because of the size of my school. We had to
Yeah,
divide it up.
yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, so moving on, we have our first mini game. Yesterday we played Rick. It was really hard. Okay, so I made it really hard. I thought I made it easy, but today I try to make it a little easier. I think it's going to be the same difficulty regardless.
Mhm.
So I tried to save the hardest ones for the last ones, but they're all pretty hard because it's just people's legs. So here we go. We're gonna start off. I'm gonna show you a picture. I'm gonna give you 2 chances per guess. All right.
Okay.
First person. Here we go.
Alrighty. All right. I kind of feel like I'm already gonna know who this is already. It's the shoes. I've seen those shoes before. Oh, I'm trying to tell by the legs. Last time I said this person, all right. I'm thinking, all right, by the time of day, it's definitely like near the end of the meet. I'm trying to think. I think it's Mitch. It's either Mitch or David.
That's correct. It is Mitch.
Yep, I could tell by the time of day. I'm like, and it's the end of the meet. I'm like, it's not the 5K, it was the 4x4. And the shoes. The shoes got me.
Oh, is that the 4x4? That is a 4x4. It has to be.
Yep, that's like that because the 5K was hot as
Oh, I didn't even
heck
see the
that
baton
day.
in his hand. Okay. Yeah,
I
that
didn't
is.
even, yeah, I didn't even realize. Obviously, I couldn't see it at the beginning picture, but I didn't even like think about it.
All right, here we go. Next one. These next two I think are going to be very difficult for some
Okay.
reason.
I'm
All right,
ready
here we
for
go.
it.
Here we go. Next one.
All right, this one. Oh, I'm trying to think what meat this is. All right, the blue.
So I will tell you that this is a high school meet.
Oh yeah, this is high school.
This is
Yeah.
the next two pictures are the people in high school. So you gotta really
All
just kind
right.
of guess off legs, possibly spikes. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna see because who on our team have had light green? I'm trying to tell by the legs and like how like small his like one thigh seems really like a chicken wing, the other one seems like a full ass thigh. So I don't know. Let's see.
And this person does run on the team right now.
All right, yeah,
the
I
next two
remember
people
from
do.
last time. They're still on. Um, my two guesses are probably gonna be um. Oh, I don't even know who this could be. I'm like trying to think who has thin legs. It was really thin legs. They look pretty long, so it's probably not Dylan. I'm gonna say either either David or oh who else on the team? I'm trying to think who else is on the team.
We don't know our
Um,
teammates.
David or Trevor?
David or Trevor? It is Josh.
That's Josh. Okay, I would never would have guessed that at all. And he's also running a relay. What the heck?
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Yo,
We
look
got
at the
two relay
timing.
pictures. All right, last one. I believe this is gonna be the hardest one, in
I
my
apologize,
opinion.
Josh. Sorry, Josh. I don't know your legs well enough.
Here we go. Last one.
Oh my goodness. Who in the world is this? There's so much blue.
There is a lot
Oh,
of blue.
it's kind of like
Looks like the
blinding.
legs are shaved.
Yeah, honestly. All right. Wait a minute. Maybe you're trying to get me with that. The legs are shaved. Maybe you're trying to get me with that little hint. Hmm.
It is a guy. It is a guy. I'll tell you that.
Who were all so I'm trying to think high school. What high schools had blue? So it wouldn't be him. Obviously not me. That'd be really funny if you chose a picture of me. I'd be like, and I guessed it wrong.
You're like, all right, there's no way that's me.
That's David. And it's like, it's you, Rick. It's you. And I'm like, oh no, I'm such an idiot. Oh, who is blue? Who wears blue? I know it's
struggling through the camera.
I know it's not Connor. Connor wore green.
Yep,
I know
Connor's
that
green.
for sure. Trying to think who, because there's no one in my grade. It's literally me and Clay. It's not either of us.
Yep,
Seniors, I don't think it's any of them. So I one of the freshmen.
I will give you a hint. It is one of the sophomores. Like now.
One of the sophomores. Okay, so
like,
actually
so like,
helps me out a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm thinking either Ethan or either Ethan or you.
You're correct. It's me.
That's you. Let's go.
Yep. I tried to throw you off, dude. So I said the legs were shaved because I made a bet with my coach. So
yeah, I do remember that.
I said once I made it to say I would shave my legs, so that was me.
Yo, let's go. All right, two out of three.
Hey, 2 for 3. That's a lot. Hey, that's better. Hey, so you matched up David. Nice. I dissed you on David's podcast, but you just made up for it. So
yeah, exactly.
They'll never know.
No, they'll never know. If it just looked like an idiot, it'd be like, I got better than him.
All right. So move on to the next question, then we'll go to another segment. So next question is, what is the biggest transition you have made from high school to college?
Let's see. So I remember I'm trying to think what I said last time, but I might end up um let's just do what I said last time. It's the attitude. Definitely the attitude.
Right.
For
Agreed.
high school track and cross, it's just oh my especially for track. It's like, oh my friend's doing it. I'll just do track. It's whatever. I'll show up every day and not even work that hard. I just want to hang out with my friend. That's the only reason I'm here. And cross is not kind of the same just because it's a longer distance, so people don't want to run that long. But everyone's like, oh, whatever. Like some people are serious. You have like a handful of people, especially who are in varsity. They definitely care. And then you get to college, and everybody cares, no matter if you're the last guy or if you're literally in varsity. Like I think no matter what position you are on the team, you care a lot about how you do,
Oh yeah.
like what you do outside of the sport, like how you do training and all that. Like it's really like people are serious in college, which is something I was not ready for.
I completely agree that mentality is definitely you definitely flip the switch once you get to college because
Exactly.
it's not just like fun and games. It's just you got to get to work if you want to earn that
Yeah,
spot.
like it gets serious. Like nobody goes to college and is like, nah, I'll maybe be on the football team just for
Yeah.
fun. Like nobody does that. If you do, I mean, you're just weird. I'm just gonna be honest. That's just a weird thing to do.
You're just weird. Yeah, everyone is there to compete, and that's what makes it fun. So
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
that was a great answer. So with that being said, we will also move on to the next segment. So yesterday, I know I had you send me your top 3 favorite pictures, and unfortunately, I did not want to go through that again. I know that'd be
Yeah.
kind of boring. I wanted to switch it up a little bit, so I had you send me 3 just
Okay.
of your favorite again. So we're gonna go through
Hmm.
that through those, and then I also have that extra picture, your absolute favorite picture of you, and then we'll touch
Okay.
on that just a little bit,
Okay.
not as much as the other thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it will be a pretty easy explanation for that one.
Yeah. All right, so we have the first one here. It looks like it's you, Tim Jasper. What's going
Yeah,
on? What?
a bunch of guys from Capital. I think those are both Capital guys behind us.
So what's going on this race?
All
What's
right.
the story behind it?
This is the 3K at ONU. And this race was kind of like it was interesting because this was probably my like second or third 3K at this point. I think I ran a 5K in between this. And I like this picture just because I like just the way that me and Tim are like positioned is like perfect. Like we're right next to each other. We're both on a stride and we have those Capital guys behind us showing that Heidelberg's like we're a wall. Like you cannot pass us.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like it. And your stride looks absolutely, gorgeous in this picture.
It looks really nice. The other picture I had of Tim and me, he looked like he was in so much pain. And I was like, I can't do that to my boy Tim. So I'm gonna pick a nicer picture of both of us.
I
Also,
just
peep the
love
taco socks.
I was just about to say I love that you still wear like crazy socks.
Yeah, all these people are wearing like athletic. Like look at Tim's. Tim's are like super athletic short socks.
Yeah, that
The
guy
guy
has
behind
Nike
us
socks.
wearing Nike socks. I'm just tacos. Like
Tacos.
I'm just going off.
Why not? I know we have more pictures of you with crazy socks, so
Oh yeah, I think
we'll touch.
I think the next one is as another one where I have fun ones on.
So there's this picture. You can't really see the socks.
Oh, I know which ones. I think those ones are the palm trees. I think
Okay.
those are the palm tree
So
socks. So I think I still got the fashion.
this is obviously cross country.
Yeah.
So, actually I have 2 questions. Yeah, what's the story behind this picture and the arm sleeves? What
Yeah. Oh my
I've
gosh.
never seen you wear those before.
The arm sleeves. So those are super important. So there's this race at the very end of every season for people who don't make it to like regionals or in cross country at my high school, and it's called Walsh. And that race is always wet. It's always rainy. It is always the worst conditions ever. Like I don't understand how it could always be like that. And if you place top 25, you would get arm sleeves. And I every year I would try to run, and I would like be so close to getting it. And then I'd be like, dang, I really want those. And then senior year, obviously I didn't make it to like we ran regionals, but I was just there to watch. So I actually ended up running Walsh again. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And I think I got like top 10, and I finally got the arm sleeves and I was so happy to have them. And today was that meet was really cold, as you can tell by everybody wearing a jacket.
Yeah, I
Everybody
can see
has a
that.
beanie on. It was not a warm day for sure. And I wore those just because I was like, I need something to keep my arms warm, and they helped that for sure. And this one's actually like really close to my house. Like my parents drove like 30 minutes to get here, and like I had a lot of family that was here. Actually, if you like look behind me, there's a guy who has like an orange inside of his coat with like green gloves. That's my dad.
Oh
That's
yeah,
my
yeah, I
dad
see
just
that.
chilling out in the background.
Just chilling out in the back.
But
That's
this
funny.
this this was a nice race just because it was. I think this was like the last one to run before you made it. And like if you placed, you made it to the top 7 for
Okay,
varsity. And I think this was when I got. I think I ran. That's I got like 6th place on the team.
good. All right, well
That's why
that's
that's why this one's important to me.
that's awesome. So we'll move on to this picture then. This looks like obviously this is high school. What what is what's written on your hand there?
That was my PR. It
Oh,
was
okay.
I wanted this. I wanted low 17s for sure, and I wanted all these. I had all these goals in mind that I wanted to reach. And the reason I have it is because so if you can see, we got 1st place, the boys open race.
I do
So
see that.
this meet is the Midwest Meet of Champions, which is in Columbus, and it's such a drive from Menor, and it was a pain in the butt. I didn't like going just because of how far it was. But
Yeah,
this time was different. And I was like, all right, I like it. So we ran really well. Like all the JV boys, we ran super well, and we got a trophy for it. And so I actually think no, that one was given to a friend of mine. I have a different trophy from a race, but that one has a specific place just because we did so well. It was just the open. It was just the open guys.
that's awesome. That's a I mean, that's a nice looking trophy too.
Yeah, it was nice. Like it really, honestly, if you look at it, it's just like a piece of glass, but it was really like just the design on it was cool. I like the runners in the front, Midwest Meet of Champions. Like it was just a good race. Also, funny thing about this race is that they screwed up the varsity version, and 2 kids ran into each other at race pace, and I think their heads were bleeding. So that was a
Ooh.
very it was bad. They screwed up the varsity race pretty badly. So I'm kind of glad I ran the open.
That doesn't sound good. And with this picture, the next one I'm about to send you, I was actually here at this, at
Oh,
this meet. That's our home
oh
meet.
man,
No,
this
that's
is such a great
conference.
meet.
That's
Yeah, this is
conference.
conference. This is it.
So
And
yeah, this is a great picture. I actually love this picture, and I actually love the one with you and Connor in it.
yeah, that one is really good. I was about to choose that one too, but I chose this one just because I'm like kind of the focus of it. I
Yeah,
mean, it's my podcast. If Connor ever does his own, then he
yeah,
can
you can
put
use
himself
that
in
one.
front. But
Yeah, exactly.
this
Dude,
this
your
one
legs
is
look ripped.
I know that's the thing. I was like, what is that thigh? What is that? Like, what am I
What
looking
is
at?
that?
I have thunder thighs. I never
Dude,
thought
they're
about that.
crazy.
And like my form is pretty good here. I think this is the one where I think I am a little bit hunched over, a little more hunched over than I should be. But I think this might have been during the beginning, so I was a little frightened at first, but I get used to it every other jump.
Yeah.
But this is just a nice picture because I first time doing steeple last year. I wanted to do it, we couldn't because of COVID, and I finally was able to train up and do it. And I ran it conference, which is I think it was pretty awesome.
That is awesome. It's a good accomplishment to achieve. And
And
obviously
I
steeple is not one of those easy sports
no,
or
not an
easy,
easy
easy,
event.
easy event. Yeah, I don't know why I said sports. Yeah, easy event.
Not a lot of people do it.
Exactly.
That's why you're able to get in conference so easily is because not a lot of people run it, but it's also because it's hard.
Also, yeah, to be fair, I'll just say, a lot of people don't do it because it's hard. And so I give you, kudos for at least doing it.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen, me and you have seen many people eat it this year, which is
Oh
very
yeah,
unfortunate. But
Otterbein.
you have not, so that's good. Oh,
I didn't practice, but I'm not in competition yet.
I
Thank
remember
goodness.
that. I remember that. And you're like, nope, nope, I'm good. I'm good.
And I'm like, I'm fine. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, Ricky, okay? And I'm like, yeah.
You're like, yeah, it's water. I'm good. I remember that.
My mask is drowning me, but that's about it.
I'm getting waterboarded, but that's cool.
Yeah, exactly what I said. I was like, I'm getting waterboarded by my mask. That's about it.
All right. So with that being wrapped up, we're going to move on. We only got a question left, a mini game, and then 2 more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. So next question: what motivates you to do your sport? What keeps you going? What are those things that just makes running still amazing?
Okay, so I'll start off like how I did last time. So most people will say getting faster or going to regionals or like stuff that like end goal stuff. Like stuff is like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna run this crazy. I'm gonna run crazy fast and all that. Mine is like those stuff is they are important. Don't get me wrong, but the main thing I like about running is the team that I'm on. High school was very it was hard because a lot of the people on the team, like I was good friends with a lot of the underclassmen, but the kids in my grade I did not get along with very well because they all talked about stuff that I didn't know a lot about. They had a group chat where they didn't include me even when I made it to varsity for like those couple weeks that I was on it. And like it was hard to like run and also like share my accomplishments with them because I would get like oh, good job, Rick. And then, my coach would be like, oh my gosh, Rick, that was awesome. Nice job. So like, I just wish I had more of that. But like when I go here, like summer sucks right now, but as soon as we get back on campus, I know it's just going to feel amazing to run with all the guys because we have that good energy. And when I do well, I'm going to get like, everyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, Rick, that was awesome. And like vice versa, I'll be like, holy crap, Brett, what a time. That was amazing. Like it's the team. The team makes me want to run.
The team aspect is crazy, and I always tell that to people, like my friends at Heidelberg that don't run. I'm like, yeah, like our team has such a family connection. Like, if you've seen us in workouts, we get so happy for each other in workouts, like not even races. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I wish people could see how exciting and thrilled we get like during a workout, like a good workout. And then when we get to a race, everyone is just ecstatic. You have people screaming at you. It's crazy. Like we just have a family atmosphere. And I completely agree. There's people at our school who are like, yeah, our team doesn't even have like a family atmosphere. And you guys eat dinner with each other, talk to each other every single day. So I mean, we got it good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we got a good team. That's why I can't. That's also the reason why I'm staying at Heidelberg instead of going to somewhere else because I don't know if I
Exactly.
enjoy the team that as much as I do right now.
The team is amazing. I wouldn't trade it for a thing. All righty. Now talking about the team, we are moving into the next mini game. It's called Who Do You Think? I'm gonna give us a scenario. I haven't even thought about anybody for any of these scenarios yet. I just found them online, put them on here, and me and you are gonna work together to find one person that would fit that scenario. So the first one is, who do you think is most likely to write the worst selling book?
Write the worst selling book. Oh my gosh, you talk about writing, and I immediately think of Hunter.
Hunter,
Like immediately.
Hunter. I immediately. So did I. Not to be rude, Hunter. Not to be rude at all,
But
because you are. You tell great stories. Okay?
He's got away with his words for sure. And
But
we're gonna talk about how he can say stories.
They definitely stretch out to at least 1,000 pages.
Yeah, like I feel like if he like brought it to a publisher, they'd be like, well, I like the story. I love the characters are really well written. The story is intriguing. I want to keep reading it. But like I'm like halfway through and I'm on page 300. Like shorten it up a little bit, man.
They're like, Hunter, this is a great book. Can we shorten it to 200 pages instead of 2,000?
Yeah, can we get it to like 300 and not 10,000 pages? Like, come on.
Hunter,
this is small font
Hunter,
too.
we love you, but we gotta make fun of your storytelling.
Yeah, we gotta roast each other. Yeah, that's exactly. Another part about being family.
We gotta keep our egos straight.
Exactly.
All right, next one. Who do you think is most likely to become famous over social media? And when Mitch, that's exactly what I thought about. TikTok.
Yeah, he got those 2 TikToks that have blown up. I'm like, how?
Mitch has had 2 or 3 TikToks just blow up.
Yeah, he has the one about like cross country people or whatever, and the one that's like, I don't feel like working out today. I don't even know who that guy is.
Craig Ingles. He's a professional runner, and then he has that one. He has that one he just made about like track sprinters. It's like track sprinters, distance, and throwers.
Yeah. You want a staff job? You want a staff job? Does anyone care about what I want? I do. Shut up.
Get out.
I was quoting that at work the other day. It's such a funny TikTok. I love J.K. Simmons. He's my favorite.
That's from where is that from? Is that from Spider-Man?
Yep, that's from Spider-Man.
Okay. That's Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, I think it's 3. I think 3 is the one with Venom and Sandman. It was the one with Venom, so it was Spider-Man 3.
That's the best part. Just shut up, get out.
Shut up, get out.
All right, and next one is, who do you think is most likely to become the president of the United States?
Oh, the president? To
be fair, if I had to pick anybody like on our team, I know we've been talking about the guys' team. I would pick Izzy.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Izzy is in Washington right now.
She is so smart. Like I don't.
She's very. I mean, I've heard that she's very. She knows her stuff politically. but I've never really talked about that, mainly because I don't really care about politics. Not for, not to trigger anybody, but I just not my thing.
Yeah,
But I heard
it's not my kind of thing either. Like it's a thing I should know about, and I know enough about it, but I don't.
exactly
Not something I enjoy talking about, like
right.
outside of if I was in like a debate class.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
And I know Izzy is very good at just knowing about politics. So she's there right now. But for the guys team, I don't even know. None of us really talk about it, and that I
yeah,
think.
yeah. There's not a lot of like we got some smart guys on our team, but there's not a lot of people that are like super on it about like politics. They're like, oh, I know everything about it. Like I
I'm
will
trying.
argue for
If I had to
days
pick
about
one
it.
person though, I almost feel like I really don't know. Like obviously, I've never really talked about anyone about politics on our team. I'm just gonna go with Izzy
Yeah,
because
I think Izzy's a good
that's
spot
a
to
fair
just
answer.
stay on.
All right, so we answered Hunter, and then Mitch, and then Izzy. You guys are our winners for today. So
Yeah, you don't get
congratulations.
anything. You
You don't
just
get
get
anything.
you just crap talked, just shit
Yep,
talked about you, but that's
we
about
just
it.
roasted you, unless you're not Hunter, because then we kind of complimented you. All right, next question. All right, we have two more questions, and then we'll wrap it up here. What is yesterday I asked you what your best sports memory was at Heidelberg. I think I'm gonna switch it up just for today,
hmm
just so that way we don't repeat anything. What is your favorite memory at Heidelberg? What
Oh, favorite
moment
memory in
sticks out
general.
to you the most?
Hmm. So I think this one's like an interesting one because it's not like a super hype moment where everyone's like freaking out. Like it's not even like someone did really well at in cross country or it's not anything like that. It's a very small thing because it kind of like builds up on. It's like a character development thing. So
Okay.
in the beginning of you guys didn't do camp unfortunately, so you guys didn't know. We'll
Yeah.
be doing it this year, so you guys will get it. But so when I was a freshman, we came in, we had a bunch of things we did for camp. And one of them is we did a game where we tossed like a ball of yarn between each other and we talked about our goals and stuff. And it was pretty much like we threw it in between each other and it kind of made like a web.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian did like it was like and it like showed like how the team holds each other together basically. And
Oh,
we
that's
got to each
awesome.
other and every time we got to each other, we would say our name, where we came from, what year we are, and something like one of our goals for being at Heidelberg, like no matter what grade you were in. And obviously you had a lot of, like Travis Swayze was like, I want to run this time in the 5K or in the 8K. And I
Right,
think a lot of
right.
people were talking about just like being a good like being just a better team member and all that. So mine was an interesting. So when it came to me, I said, I want to get out of my shell because in high school, I barely talked to anybody. I talked to my friend group and that was it. I didn't really like talking to anybody else because I didn't really like a lot of people in my high school because there's so many kids. And the reason that's funny is that like I look back at that now and I was like getting out of my shell and I like am so outgoing in college and I will
Dude,
talk to literally
you
everybody
are
and
like
anybody.
I know I would never think that you would say that because you are legit like dude, you walked into the lunchroom and everyone was like, yo. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And like when I came in as a freshman, like I was hanging around talking to the guys, and I went back to my dorm room, and I was like super stressed out. I was like, oh my gosh, there's like all these new people, and like I'm not with anybody. I'm just hanging out in my room. And I don't know if they're gonna like me. Hopefully, I'm not like weird or whatever. And then I talked to everybody, and they started making memes and quoting YouTube poops, and I'm like, okay, this is my place. I already know I'm gonna fit in so well.
and you do, and it's crazy that development actually did happen. I guess when
And
you say your goal, that happens.
yeah, everybody even points it out too. They're like, remember, like Rick, remember when you said that you wanted to get outside your shell? Well, the shell's on Mars because you blew it out of the park.
Dude, you did out of this universe, bro. All right, and with that being said, we're gonna finish this podcast off with one more question. If you had any advice for the incoming freshmen, what would it be?
All right. So I'll probably end up doing the same thing I did last time. So mine is I'm trying to think what was it? It was
I believe you said like it was along the lines of like just get out there or something like that.
yeah, it was basically the way I would say it now if I were to rethink it is don't stress out about it. Like don't stress out about running. I use the same analogy as like every time I talk about it, people are like they run their first race and they don't do as well and they like get super upset about it. And I talk to them I'm like, I mean, you might have not done the way you wanted, but it's the first race. nobody looks back at like nobody looked like the guy you were talking about, that like crazy runner that Mitch was talking about. Nobody looks at his first race in high school and was like, oh man, he wasn't that good. Nobody
Yeah,
cares about
yeah,
that. People care about what he does now, like what he did
exactly.
just recently and like his really big accomplishments. So nobody's going to look back at your first race freshman year and care at all about it. So that goes into running. It's your freshman year. No, like obviously people are gonna be asked about your freshman year, but if you don't do the way you want, you have 3 more years.
Exactly.
Don't stress out about it. If you don't hit your mileage that you need to, if you don't make mileage club, it's not, it really doesn't matter, to be completely honest. You used to
Exactly.
get something for reaching mileage club, but now you don't because Brian doesn't give us anything anymore because I think he hates us. But so he doesn't give us anything for it. So if you don't reach it, it's fine. If you're not where everybody else is, you take your own pace. That's why it's summer training and you're going by yourself. It's going to suck because you're by yourself, but it's also good because you don't need to compare yourself to anybody else. It's you're doing your own thing. You're getting ready to see what your body needs, how your body gets used to the mileage, and you will always get ready for you will get used to the mileage. First run ever is going to suck with the guys because you just are not used to it, and then give yourself 2 weeks and you'll be so like comfortable with the distance and you won't worry about it.
Exactly. I mean, I couldn't have said that any better myself. You worded that, to a T. I mean, that's great advice for anybody who's an incoming freshman. And like you said, no pressure on yourself. Why do you have pressure on yourself? You have 4 years of development. So what if, 1 year you don't do that great? Okay. You have 3 more years to just, elevate yourself. So
Exactly. And the training stays the same throughout, like the training pretty much stays the same throughout every sport, ever for throughout indoor and outdoor. Like
exactly.
you're still running the 3 week cycle, you'll still be at your mileage and you'll get used to it. Because by the time you get to your next season of cross country, your next season of track, you already know how the training works and you know it works.
Exactly. I mean, we know it works.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Rick, thank you for thank you for yesterday's interview and thank you for today's interview. I know we had a little bit of difficulty, but it was a pleasure of
Mhm.
interviewing you. That's all we got for today's episode. For the people at home, thank you for listening to the whole thing. We'll see you guys in the next one.